What's up, guys? Caveat emptor. If y'all don't know what that means, it basically is let the buyer beware. And what I'm fixing to talk about is not really a buyer, although in some cases there is, because people are actually spending money. But generally speaking, that's not what we're talking about. I had a text conversation with someone the other day, and we were discussing various YouTube channels, and it occurred to me there are some out there, and you can find them, they're pretty easy to find, who put up just the most absolutely grand glorious titles and cover photos and everything else that is designed to do one thing: elicit a reaction from you and get you to click on the video. And unfortunately, a lot of those videos, a lot of those people, they, in my opinion, just mine, are simply trying to get you to click on that video to make them some money via their monetization. Some of these guys are like weathermen. And I don't know about in your area, but in my area, the weatherman is one of the few people that can be consistently wrong 90% of the time and not only stay employed but get a pretty healthy paycheck while he's at it. That's how some of these people are. They put out some of the most grandiose headlines that time and time again continue to be wrong, and they still maintain like enormous subscriber numbers, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments on the video, thousands of views, and they're grinning all the way to the bank. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that will buy into and believe what they're saying. Now, I'm not saying that they're all wrong. What I'm saying is, be very careful who you listen to. And I've said this before in other videos right here. Be very, very careful who you listen to on here and elsewhere. Because there's a lot of people that directly or indirectly insinuate that they know a lot more than what they actually know. They directly or indirectly insinuate that they have experience or backgrounds or whatever that's very different from what they really have. Now, some of them are smart. They don't come out and actually say it. They don't say that they've done this, that, or the other, or that they've had this experience or that experience. But they strongly insinuate it and leave it up to you to come to that conclusion, and don't do anything to actively dissuade it. Like I've told you guys before, there's a reason I don't talk a whole lot about my time in the military, because there's not a whole lot to talk about. I wasn't a cool guy. I didn't do anything overly noteworthy or high speed or whatever. I'm very proud of what I did. I draw a certain amount of experience and knowledge for what I did, what was able to do, and I'm proud of it. But quite honestly, when it comes to doing the stuff we talk about on here, depending on what you did, military experience can or can't be necessarily all that important. My point being, I don't try to baffle you guys with what I did. I wasn't anybody special, okay? That's why I don't talk about it a lot. I'll let you know that I did it, and we just kind of leave it at that. I try to talk to you about my actual experiences of having been doing this kind of thing that we talk about on here for the better part of my life, in one capacity and level or another. It's just what my family's always been about. As a very, very young child, my parents steadily prepared for hurricanes and financial issues and all that kind of stuff. My grandmother, as someone who went through the Great Depression, was very big on that. I draw from my personal life experiences, or much more than I do anything else. And that of friends, and I try, I'm not perfect, but I try to always let you guys know too when I'm sharing something with you or giving it, pointing out something to you, if it's something that I've learned from somebody else. It ain't something necessarily that I come up with, something that I learned from somebody else that's smarter than me. Not everybody does that. And there are some people, unfortunately, that have some really good skill sets, right? And they have some really good experience and really good knowledge in a certain area. And sadly, what happens is they try to start branching into other areas that's not their field of expertise, but because they're really good over here in this area, they give off the persona that they're really good in this area too, and people follow it and believe it, and sometimes there's some less than, it's not always the best advice, etc., to be following, is what I'm saying. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean necessarily that they're doing anything wrong. They're just not working on what they're good at. I can't think of a better way to say it. But be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you follow. Don't just blindly follow someone on here or anywhere else because they've got tens of thousands of followers and come across as a celebrity. Okay? Having all those followers and coming across as a celebrity does not necessarily make them an expert on all things. Maybe on some things, but generally not on all things. So I would just encourage you, seek out information, seek out knowledge. Just be careful. Avoid falling for hype. If you see somebody with the big, bold, flashy headlines and it's saying something that you're not really seeing anywhere else, and they're talking about, oh my God, it's happening, before you do that number, stop. Start doing a little looking. Start doing a little researching. Start checking with some other folks. Hey, has anybody heard something about this? Does anybody know anything about this? What's going on? Look into things more. Be slow to react to certain things, and look into stuff. Don't just take things at face value based off of a title of an article, a video, whatever. Sometimes some of the smartest people out there aren't really necessarily celebrities. Now, there are some that are, but that's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. So back to the title, Caveat Emptor. Right now, with the way things are going, it's more important than ever that you make sure you're getting good advice, good information that's relevant to you and your situation from good sources, because we don't have any time to waste. We really don't, guys. I am really concerned, and I have been for a long time, but here recently I've had this thing going, and I know where it's coming from. Some of you might not agree, but in case those of you don't know, yes, I'm one of those weird Bible-believing Christians. I know, shocker, but kind of like how Noah, and God started telling Noah, hey, I know you're out in the middle of nowhere, but I want you to build a giant boat. There's not a rain cloud in sight, but I want you to build a giant boat. Don't worry about everybody laughing at you. Just go ahead and build a giant boat. I felt that for a long time, but I feel it even more now that for me personally, it's just me, God's doing that little tap on the shoulder. Hey, get this squared away. Get that squared away. Take care of this. Take care of that. And you can attribute whatever you want to whatever you feel and believe. But I know what I'm getting. I know the input that I'm getting and who I think I'm getting it from. So get ready. Seek out good information. Be careful who and what and where. And I've even told y'all before, be careful with even what I say. Because even I inadvertently sometimes will miss certain points, get something wrong. I make no claims to be perfect at all. I am human and fallible. Sometimes I'll make a mistake. I try my God's honest best to be as straightforward and legit with you guys as I can. That's the only reason I do this. My channel's not monetized. I don't get a dime for sitting here spending my time talking to you guys, doing the things that I do. I don't get anything out of it other than knowing that I'm trying to help you as best I can with what I can. Okay? So I don't have any incentive to steer you wrong is what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean that I don't occasionally get it wrong, albeit unintentionally and inadvertently. Get ready, guys. Tick-tock. Y'all know that clock's ticking. You know it is in your heart of hearts. I'll see you in another one.